Hey there, Dave here, along with Chris. Jordan is with family doing holiday things today. Welcome to the Dumb Money Live pre-show. Thank you all for being with us early this morning. Coming up, the kid investor who probably makes more money than you. He probably makes better stock trades than you. He probably knows more about crypto than you. Zachary, the young investor. We're going to do that as soon as we get to 200 likes for the YouTube algorithm, because the like squad knows how to do their job. Chris is in his studio. I am in beautiful Monroe, Louisiana on the first leg of the road trip. I'm at the Black Bayou National Wildlife Refuge right now, and it is really nice here. It's a little chilly, but part one of the road trip, we made it all the way from Texas to Monroe, Louisiana. I think that was
Dave,
like
are you sleeping in the van?
So my plan is to stay in hotels whenever possible. Last night, we slept in the van. It was my very first time sleeping in the camper van. I call it a camper van because our guest today is from the UK, and I believe that's how they say. What do we call it? An RV. So yes, I slept in it. I think it might be the first time I ever slept in a car. So yeah.
How was it?
Experience it. It was great. I mean, it's a way smaller bed than I'm used to. It was a really close cuddle time with me and Megan and Chimichanga. We brought the dog with us. You heard her name. She's right there. It was, it's an experience. I'm all about an experience. I'll do anything once, and this may be the once.
Do you have a shower in the van, Dave? How does that work?
There technically is a shower. I will not be using it. I will definitely be. We're going to be definitely in hotels often enough that I'll be good.
So, and the rest of after the show today, are you just get back on the road, or are you just hanging? Are you going to do some I don't know?
We're going to do a little hike here. There's a nice little hike trail. There's like a boardwalk that goes down by the bayou. I couldn't get our news van close enough for that. I'm plugged into power right now, but it's pretty cool.
Dude, the diversity in our friend group. I was talking to Lynn. He's on his yacht right now in the Caribbean,
Yes.
and you are sleeping in the back of a A-team style van.
It's it's a bit of a. But if you think about it, the inside of this van, the sleeping space is almost identical to the yacht. Now, the amenities on the yacht, I'm not going to say that he doesn't have nicer amenities, but I will tweet this a little bit later. Let me find the picture that I just took.
Wait, let it focus. There we go.
There we go.
Oh,
so this is my setup here. I have a news desk. It's fantastic.
Oh my God! Can I just tell you?
I have no way to count the likes today, so we're just going to assume that we have the likes. So, but go ahead, tell me what you.
Dude, I can't wait to speak to this kid about so many things, but I was just thinking about the new gen of investors and. Because I woke up this morning and my piton, which has been just, I can't even, I'm almost, at some point, I'm going to be up 8 figures in Peloton, okay? And I woke up this morning, it's down a couple points, and I'm depressed, like going through a mini depression. And all I'm thinking is, I have multiple decades, 3 decades as an investor in the market. Yeah. I can't even imagine how the new kids are going to deal with the inevitable, which is this when we have our first big swing down. The only thing that saves them is they're all so young that they can't really have that much money in the market, and they're probably making more money every month from their job than they have in the market. So it's if it drops, I think they'll probably just get excited to buy more. That's been my thesis, is everyone's let's see how they handle a bear market. I'm
everyone
a bear market.
Buy on red days, but the thing is, if you have 7 weeks of red days, then you didn't do so good when you bought on that first day. So, you and I have that history. We know what it's like to go in down markets and up markets. And
but Dave, if you're in the first 2% of your investment career, and they want a bear market because all it means is they get to buy more stock lower, because listen, at the end of the day, they're in the accumulating stage. So I think they're going to handle the bear market just beautifully. It's the people like us who have multiple decades of our life earnings and our everything we've worked for in the market, and seeing that get crushed, and we know we don't have another 40 years of saving to put in the market. we don't handle it as well as they will handle it, right?
We're going to have to see about that. I've retrained myself. I think like a young investor now. Are we ready?
Let's get even younger. Let's get even younger today, dude, because this is...
Go ahead.
Let's do it. We're at 200.
We hope. We don't have any idea if we actually are.
I do. I'm watching, Dave. I'm watching YouTube. We're at 200.
Okay. Oh, cool. So our guest today is a 12-year-old trader in the UK. He's known as Zachary, the young investor on YouTube. He has had a remarkable return this year. Yesterday, he put out a video showing an 85% gain in just the past few months. He's somewhat of an expert in electric vehicles. He had the CEO of one of the big ones on his show. That stock, one of his top holdings. We're going to hear all about that today. Plus, he apparently also has expertise in crypto. We're going to hear what he thinks Bitcoin is going to do and the whole crypto market. All that and more today on Dumb Money as we talk to the kid investor who probably makes more money than you.
This is Dumb Money Live with Chris Camillo, Dave Hansen, and Jordan McLean, streaming live on YouTube. We are Dumb Money.
Hey there, Dave here along with Chris Camillo, and Jordan is off today with his family for the holidays. In a spot, we're welcoming our guest. It's Zachary. Zachary, we are quite chuffed to have you with us today. See how I use
Thanks for having me on.
So good to have you with us.
Dude, Zach,
it's
man.
Great to be on the show.
Dude, you literally are the future. You are everything that I have wished for the last 2 decades. Like, this young investor movement, and it's generally not as young as you, but the fact that you even exist right now and are doing what you're doing, and you're doing it in a public way, is the greatest thing that could potentially ever happen to your generation, okay? And like, this is so critically important that the world is seeing that a 12-year-old can come out and not only crush investing, but just doing it. Just doing it. You're just out there doing it. This is the fact that you're even here right now is maybe the most important thing that we could do to close that wealth gap for the next generation. You might not even understand what that word means yet, but the fact that you're thinking about investing and your friends are going to think about investing, and everybody that you interact with in your life is going to have to think about investing and have to question in their head, why is my kid not investing? Why am I not investing at age 15 when that 12-year-old is killing it?
So let's start at the beginning, and I want to know, how did you even get interested in the market to begin with? What really drew you to this?
Yeah, so like previous to the stock market and all that, I was subscribed to a few like YouTubes like Graham Stephan and stuff like that. Sometimes they make like stock videos or something. And I used to be like, history.
Hold on, wait, Dave. Just so you know, there's a lot of wind right this very second. So maybe if you can, there you go. Let's go ahead, Zach.
Yeah, so I'm kind of a history geek, so I was really into history all before like stock market investing. There was a little bit of finance in history, but not loads. But then the UK version of Robinhood Trading 212, they had this huge ad campaign, and they're targeting ads at people who never watched a stock video in their life. They must have spent hundreds and hundreds of thousands of pounds on that. So I decided to open a brokerage account with them. I started investing, and it's all been doing really well ever since.
And do you have a mentor? Who taught you like the first? Is it your your parents? Like, Dave, you're muted still. You're muted, Dave. But
was it your parents, or was it Graham Stephan who gave you that initial inspiration?
No, so I kind of just taught myself, and then like after a month of doing the stock market, I was doing pretty well. So I got my dad into investing as well. So now
really?
Then I decided I was going to get my dad into investing. So I got my dad into investing after that. But I really just taught myself, and just read up articles, watched YouTubers, and that kind of stuff.
I love that. I love that YouTube inspired you to then get your dad actually into the game. That's that's awesome.
Okay, Zach, let me ask you a question. So we say the word investing, and by the way, it's really cool that you saw a commercial. Like it's the Robin Hoods of the world that are actually pulling you guys in, which has been our thesis for a while. That's interesting. But when you say investing, and you just think about, okay, I'm going to start investing. Do you even worry too much about how you're going about that? Because in our world of investing, we have kind of fundamental investors, and fundamental investors, they look at stocks and try to figure out this stock should be trading more than it is because people aren't seeing certain things, or I think the value of it should be higher than the market thinks. And then you have technical investors that are trading with charts, and they're like, well, this stock is the chart is too hot, it's going to drop off, and they have all kinds of chart signals, right? And then you have guys like us that we invented this thing called social arb investing, which is basically just trying to identify something that the market isn't aware of yet, right? Or they don't appreciate yet, or they misunderstand, right? So we're looking for that kind of information, kind of a lack of information that we see. We find something that the market hasn't seen, right? And that's when we invest in a stock. Do you have a method yet that you would call yourself a fundamental or technical, or are you just learning the ropes and just kind of just doing all kinds of stuff right now?
Yeah. So so at the moment, I've got a fair few, like loads of kind of growth stocks, and quite big on, if I do a lot of swing trading with SPACs, especially buying when they announce a merger, as long as it's kind of an EV kind of hype company which is going to get a load of hype. I usually buy that, swing trade that. A company called Arrival went public a few weeks ago. I found out about on the day when there was a rumor of them going public. I brought that stock at $11. So it's up like 10. So then after that, it had a run up to 30, and I sold. So I don't mind doing swing trades, but I do have a lot of kind of growth, kind of long-term stocks, mainly for 2021.
Gotcha. So you're kind of a swing trader, a momentum trader, a little bit of a hype trader, which is really in right now for 2020. Listen, you're brand new to this world. You just started this year, right? Like you're months in, not years in, right?
Yeah, 5 months ago I started.
Well, good time to start in the market. And when you're not investing, like, are you in school right now?
Yeah, I'm in school. You got to do your homework and stuff like that, even if it's pretty boring. But yeah, I do school like 6 hours a day, I think it is.
And Zach, we're going to get into your stock picks, and I want to talk about some of your picks. But before that, I want to know, like, what do you have aspirations to follow a certain career track? Do you think is your career? Would you want to be a YouTuber, an investor, an investing YouTuber, or do you have some other more conventional career that you're thinking about at age 12, like an NFL player, or like what is it that you aspire to be, or it's okay if nothing?
Yeah, so it's between like two things, maybe like an investing YouTuber, or maybe just or maybe just work for myself if I make really good money from stocks or something. Just do my own thing, or maybe work at an investment fund or something, and hopefully become a hedge fund manager.
Whoo, man, look at that, age 12, Dave. Hedge, there's so many paths for you. The bottom line is the fact that you're doing this at age 12, by the way, where do you get your money that you're putting in the market? Did this come from allowance, just general savings? Do you get an allowance, or like where does your money come from that you put into the market?
It's kind of funny because I used to spend money, but I wasn't really into buying like loads of really expensive stuff like some people are my age. I don't know. I never really found any of that kind of stuff, enjoyable or anything. So, I used to spend some money, but after years and years, I had a nice big pile of money, just growing up from my allowance and stuff. So I started investing. I put like I say around half of that into stocks, and I've almost doubled that at the moment.
Great. And that's a bigger thrill for you than spending money, making money. Is that what you're getting at? You enjoy making money more than spending money?
Yeah, I've got.
It reminds me
Yeah,
of someone,
it sounds
Dave.
pretty cringy, but
Yeah.
No, it's nothing
this is like
cringy about that.
yeah,
your path. You're definitely going to
yeah,
eventually be retired and making YouTube videos.
yeah. I mean, I honestly, I do like making money. Seeing it go up and down. I mean, there was like this one point where that was a highlight or a downlight. I don't know, but I was up something like 70%. I was in so big on so many SPACs. I mean, there was one company that was up like 150%. And it all started crashing. Well, I think I went into loss for about 2%. But I mean, now I'm up another 85%. At the moment, the lesson learned is these days I'm always taking profits all the time on, a load of stocks and all that kind of stuff. There's like one stock called SP, which is Merger Charge Point. I had about, I don't know, 12% of my portfolio in that, ran up over 150%, sold like 80% of my position in that. So these days I'm more quite of a profit taker.
Good.
So yeah,
let's
I
talk
don't mind
about
taking
that
profits or any of
top
that.
holding that you have. I know that you've put a substantial portion of your portfolio into one company. It's an EV company. You've met with the CEO of the company. How did that come about?
Tell us the name of the company too.
Yeah,
It's Arcimoto, right?
Yes. Yeah, Arcimoto, ticker symbol FUV. Originally, this company I actually found out it's kind of a stock where if you're in the EV space, you've heard of it, but you never really research it, and it's kind of a stock where it just pops up in some article or something, and you never bother researching it. There was one of the YouTubers I watched made a video about it, and I was thinking that seems kind of interesting. So I then looked into products even more. Watched a few CEO interviews, looked into the kind of vision for the company. It's the kind of thing where this stock was at 591 when I brought it. That was my average. So this kind of stock where it's at 591, valuation of 150 million. It's high risk, but it's high reward. And I just thought the concept's great, and I was thinking, it becomes good or bad in a few years. I mean, this kind
Well,
of
tell us about the concept,
Jack.
Tell us about the company and exactly what you liked about it.
Yeah, so the company makes free-wheeled electric cars. So their main competitor, electromechanical vehicles. Honestly, their car was actually absolutely ugly as a free-wheel electric vehicle. It looked like half of the end was just chopped off by a knife or something. With Arcimoto's vehicles, a lot more of an open kind of style vehicle. So you had that for the normal consumer, and with expansion plans, which Sandy Monroe was helping them with, one of the famed, designers, and he reviewed every single Tesla. And he didn't just buy the Tesla to review it. Tesla and BMW pay him to pull apart almost every single car and do crash tests and making sure the car's fit for purpose. So the CEO Mark Fromar met Sandy Monroe, and Sandy pulled apart their vehicle. And then Sandy said, our team's gonna help you get to 50,000 vehicles a year, which would imply over $750 million in revenue. And that's going to be around 2023 is going to be the full scale up to that. So I was thinking about all this kind of stuff, and it's a stock extremely cheap, 150 million. Worst case scenario, it goes down a bit, and then in a few years it maybe rebounds or makes a load of gains. 2 weeks after that, EV stocks went back on the hype run. Stock went up over 69% in one day. I sold half of my position. I had at the highs that I had about 40% of my portfolio in that when it doubled. I sold half of my position in that company. Kind of a few shares around the current price, and I've now got something like 16% of my portfolio in Arcimoto.
Well, that's pretty impressive. So you saw something that was a bit early, right? And I think I'm going to credit that trade with the fact that you are proactively out there looking for things, right? You're looking at YouTube videos, you're following people that are discovering opportunities in companies that are doing interesting things. And I think the type of trading that you're doing, from what I can tell, it's all about picking up on these things early, because there's like a buzz cycle in a lot of these EV stocks, right? And it sounds like you're doing your homework, Zach, by watching and reading all of these videos, and you got in this a little bit early, and that's all it really took, right? Because a couple months later, you would have missed that run up. Why EV? Why do you focus so much on electric vehicles? Tell me why this is a sector that you spend so much of your time on. Why do you think that it's a big deal?
Yeah, so electric vehicles are something you understand. It's like Peter Lynch said something you can't explain to a 10-year-old something. 2 minutes why you own a stock. You shouldn't really be owning that stock. I mean, obviously that wasn't the reason. I am into EV. I just think EV is just the way of the future. So many car fumes these days. When you're out and about, for example. I was walked out my house one day and it's just sometimes if you have one massive car going down the road it just stinks out a load of, petrol or whatever it stinks out, and the whole road just stinks like a minute after that. It's the kind of thing where, governments are making it legislation, that all come outside the EV by at a certain point in time. And for me, EV is the kind of thing where I fully got the concept, I fully got what it's all about. Combined with another thing I'm very interested in, stacks. I thought EV was the kind of, route I wanted to take. It's the kind of thing which gets hyped up very easily. All EV companies these days seem to get hyped like mental. So I was thinking, combined with getting in early for a SPAC, before made a merger deals announced on the first day, the merger deal being announced, then having one of the hottest sectors on the market, something I do understand the EV I absolutely love. I think that's I know it's not even it's no brainer. I mean, if there was a stock which I saw tomorrow something, I do have like 40% of my portfolio in maybe like a few stocks which two stocks which aren't EV companies, maybe like 20%, but if there's an opportunity which is an EV company, I think it's got insane upside. I'll buy it. I'm more than happy to do that. But I think at the moment the upside is in the EV kind of sector.
And you're also in Neo, like you say, and that is an EV company. But I like that you kind of like Neo for the same reason I like it, because it's more than just a car. It's become a fashion brand for China, right? It's high end, it's luxury, it's an aspirational brand, and that's one of the reasons that I got into Neo. And it's interesting to watch your video yesterday, and you kind of have the same thoughts.
Yeah, so I mean, with Neo, it's quite interesting. I saw this the other day. I didn't know this. So Neo maybe has like 80,000 whatever cars on the road. Expanding rapidly. The Neo app, which sells all the lifestyle products, hats, t-shirts, all the kind of lifestyle brands. Neo sell all that on the Neo app. The Neo app has over 1 million downloads. The Neo car has 80,000 people. So that's kind of a sign where, well, hang on a second. 1 million people don't just download an app for no reason. It takes up space on their phone in China. It's the kind of thing where, hang on a second, a load of these people are actually buying e-commerce on the Neo app. This is the kind of thing where it's, this isn't something I don't think the market's priced in. The market's pricing in the car. The market isn't pricing in the e-commerce side of that of Neo. And I think I only found this out like 2 days ago, and already I'm thinking that's kind of going to be a huge kind of catalyst for Neo if they can really ramp up on that side of production. And maybe in the future, let's talk about they're going to make robo taxis or something to compete with Tesla. If Neo in the future can kind of ramp up to a massive kind of lifestyle brand in China, and the cars are really part of the Neo, the kind of their Neo reputation. They make luxury cars and they also sell great clothes. Massive brand, very fashionable. It's quite cool to wear.
Dude, I love the way your mind works. Like you could be a great social arb investor too. We got to indoctrinate you in our social arb world, because the way that you're building connections and really kind of taking things that are off Wall Street, out of the financial world, and just bringing those connections back in and saying, hey, they don't have a million people downloading this for nothing, right? Like that sort of thinking, it seems obvious, but you'd be shocked how non-obvious that is to a lot of financial minds that are on the institutional side of Wall Street, and miss these things early on, right? Until it's too late. A lot, we have a few people asking, Zach, Hyliion Holdings. Are you familiar with those guys? Do you have any views on that company? They've been hit pretty hard recently, so a lot of people are. That makes them kind of interesting to a lot of people in the EV space, because it's an EV stock that's not so hot right now. What are your thoughts on that company and their product?
Yeah, so actually I probably should have put a stop loss in, but a stop loss for Hyliion was triggered for me, which meant my position in company disappeared. I'm looking to get back in. I do really like Hyliion as a company. I think They just need to get a bit more of that patented technology for me if I'm going to hold it long term. It's not a stock which has been on a run up, which is really interesting. I've been in this stock before. I read Hyliion from $15 to $55. I sold at 45 on the way back down. I decided that the downwards pressure on this stock was really it's going down. Thomas Healy, the CEO, he was named on like top 10 or top 50 Forbes youngest people to look out for one time. He won a national competition with that, $100,000 found Hyliion. The guy's the second youngest now self-made billionaire after the CEO of Luminar overtook him, who also went public for a SPAC. I think Hyliion, they can just get a bit more on that technology. I'm looking to get back in. I think I'm watching the first 2 months of 2021 for Hyliion specifically. I need to see deals start coming in. They're showing us next year they're predicting like something like 300 or something, 150 million, something like insane in revenue next year. Stock's valued at 3 billion. Like this year they made $1 billion, so the whole idea is they're going to ramp up. They're going to get more and more orders, but I need to see the orders coming through. Then I'll get back in. But the orders have to come in. Thomas Healy has to deliver.
So you're looking for deals, like you're looking for the orders. Listen, that's great. You are doing what we call kind of scenario modeling, right? There are certain scenarios that might or might not play out, and if the scenario plays out where the orders do start coming in, you're mentally prepared to get back in that stock. Is that what you're saying? If you see the orders come in?
Yeah, but it's just
Gotcha.
that's my one concern. It's like a free mental increase. A 320x from previous year's revenue. Yeah, I think it's perfectly reasonable for that to happen. But I think CEO Hyliion Thomas Healy's got to show me and other investors that he's going to deliver. This company is valued at $3 billion with basically no revenue at all. If that's fine. A lot of companies are valued like that. I need Thomas Healy to show us that he's going to deliver. I think most of the orders are going to be happening in Q2 of 2020. I just need to see in Q1 that we're actually getting some reasonably sized orders in, and the factory's starting to roll out more and more, trucks and their conversions, and everything's going on time. Because otherwise, the company's got enough cash to survive for ages. They got a boatload of money for the SPAC Tortoise acquisition. It's the kind of thing where I don't want to be in a dead, have all my money in some like dead horse, which is just crossing down, and they don't get the deals.
Like Nicola, right? You don't have Nicola, do you? Right? Not anymore.
Oh no, so I used to day trade Nicola. That's the funny thing. It's the kind of thing. At this one point, this is way before the Hindenburg report. You could actually predict what was going to happen with Nicola. There was this point where they stabilized, and they went down. They went up the next day. In a matter of like half an hour, they would go from down to up. It was the kind of thing. I used to day trade it. That's the only other stock I've ever day traded in my life. That was Nicola. And I stopped day trading it a while ago. The returns were all right with it, but I don't know. Nicola's the kind of thing where if you follow me on Twitter, you'll know I'm like Bill. I know you tweeted out as well, Chris. Ramp Capital did a Nicola new EV plane, which was a helicopter carrying up a plane into the sky. It's the kind of thing where I don't know. Nicola's the kind of thing where it's people say it's really weird. So this person on Twitter is like, oh, management's changed or whatever in Nicola. The management hasn't changed. The only person left is Trevor Milton, same CEO, same CFO. Same management team of Nicola, same people who roll the truck downhill. As Trevor Milton left the company. The company hasn't changed. The company hasn't changed one bit. It's the exact same management team. Everyone's the exact same. The only person who left is one of the persons who's going to go down like Elizabeth Holmes. Trevor Milton is the kind of person where it's funny because there was actually a Nicola lockup period extension. A load of insiders agreed to extend the lockup period. That's the kind of thing I would give them credit for. Then you find out 150 million those shares weren't sent out. Half of them, so Trevor Milton had all like 100 million of those shares. He sold half of his stock of Nicola, and then because he's also in a controlled trust with the CEO of Nicola, but he has majority voting control in that trust, he sold some of that stock. But it's interesting. I don't think hardly anybody has caught on to this yet. Nicola had some missing shares in this lockup period, and that was a company which was owned by Trevor Milton's dad. I think Trevor Milton, he's not an idiot. His dad's selling the stock for him through his company. So nobody thinks it's Milton selling it, but it's actually Trevor Milton's dad. And no one's got onto this. I'll give full credit to the YouTuber it deserves. Feels like Tom Nash, he was reading the filings of all this. Because no one's got onto it. And then you see that, hang on a second, Milton's using his dad to sell his stock in the company. Then you had Bosch, which was one of the first investors in companies selling the stock. Because something hardly anyone knows is like Nicola was actually founded as a subsidiary from Trevor Milton's, Trevor's dad's company or something. No, it's actually Bosch. So Bosch spun it off or whatever. They had a portion of the company in the state. Milton's dad got in. They went public, and then now they're using it to basically sell stock in the company. I mean, it's kind of funny because Milton said in an interview the Nicola Badger was just to please retail investors because it tempts them to get into the company. But he said that in an interview with some I think the U channel Week in Startups. Milton was like, oh yeah, the Nicola Badger was just a creation we made to get in retail investors. Nicola is one of the greatest companies who paid good artists to make some good sketches. Be in the company as much as you want. Some person on Twitter is like, oh, so I'll remind you of this in a few weeks, young man, about Nicola. And I'm like, well, I'm not saying Nicola's going to go up or down in a few weeks. Nobody really wants to short Nicola because it's basically a cult stock. You either love it or hate it, and people who love it are in the stock. But give it over time. This stock's losing $1.4 million a day. Nicola, the company's losing $1.4 million. What they're spending on $1.4 million for a truck that doesn't work, who knows? I mean, the company, hello, Baroness too.
Dude, that Zach, that might have been the greatest summary that I've ever heard on Nicola. That is fabulous, dude. I absolutely love it. And by the way, of course,
I have to say that you were actually more fun to talk to than most adults, and your thoughts on Nicola are like you and I should just hang out. If you ever make it to the States, or the next time I'm over there, we're gonna go have a coffee together.
Yeah, for real, Zach. You just gotta come hang with the Dumb Money guy. Like, just hang with us all day. We will talk about Nicola all day, all night. Listen, I want to know, how many hours a day do you spend researching stocks and thinking about investments? Is it an hour a day? Is it 3 hours a day on average?
I watch stocks quite often. It's like if I'm researching a particular company's got to get my interest. Lots of days there's no company specifically which I'm researching. There might be a hype play I'm setting out of bits and bobs to get into. For example, hype play I'm in at the moment, that's get capital merger with e-Lightning Motors. That seems the kind of thing which could end up like Picted, which with the Excel fleet and have insane hype behind it. I think something like, not every day I'm actually researching new stuff. I watch stocks I do quite often. It's kind of funny because somebody asked me, how do you keep up to date with these stocks? Mainly one way, sign up to the investor email. A lot of smaller stocks have an investor email which you can sign up to, and also just YouTube. Here's an important announcement from a stock. One of the YouTubers will cover it. It's the kind of thing where I'm not worried about a stock I currently own, or for example, I'm a member of a few Discord groups. Kind of things which are obsessed with certain groups. I mean, I'm a member of the Dumb Money Discord. All the different groups. Chatting about different stocks, and that's the kind of thing where you don't need to like look up a stock all the time. It's the kind of thing where if I've got faith in something, I'm not worried about current news. Maybe I just watch it for fun sometimes. See what's happening. Maybe turn it off on a bad. Well, I say turn it off. Just stare at it on a bad day when I'm losing a boatload of money or making a boatload of money. That's the kind of thing where, with all these kind of stocks, I don't spend certain. For example, if there's a YouTuber makes a video on a stock, I'm instantly intrigued. I'll research that stock. I don't mind that. But if it's not something which is going to grab my attention, I'm not going to waste my time researching it.
Okay, well, let me say it a different way. When you invest in a stock, before you make an investment in a stock, how much will you research it? An hour, 10 hours? On average, how much time will you spend before you make an investment in a stock?
Some stock, I make my mind up in 30 minutes if I like the stock or not. Sometimes you make it up in 30 minutes. Sometimes it takes, a few hours, I mean, after Komodo, I made my mind up on the stock and still did research on the company. So I just liked it so much. It's the kind of thing where, one stock I might have make my mind up in 30 minutes, start a position, do more research, buy more, and that might take, I might spend like 2 or 3 hours in that over the course of a few weeks.
Okay, and Zach, you're doing this every day. Are you in this kind of market, this stock game, every single day of your life? Is this your number one thing that you think about is investing?
Yeah, the number one thing I do think about is investing. I dream about investing. I dream, sometimes, I don't know if you saw that SPI Energy from a while ago. that had an insane run. That's the kind of thing where you sometimes just think, oh, I've only this little penny stock I'm in right now. We'll just do that. I can make a boatload of money in that. But it's kind of thing where every day I'm looking at the stock market. Every day I'm thinking about stocks. I mean, there's this company I'm watching at the moment called Green Life Sciences. They were a $5 stock announced on breaking, breast cancer treatment. The stock ran up to over $100 at one point. That's gone down to 43 now, and I'm watching that quite closely. It's on the uptrend at the moment at 14.7% today. It's at $43. But there's certain stocks that I watch, maybe not buy. But, I'm always watching different things. I mean, there's a YouTuber called The Stock Watch. He does a load of penny stocks that I'm not really into as much anymore. That's a good YouTuber. It's always just finding ideas, and I watch stocks. It's kind of thing where you're thinking, oh, hang on a second, there's an opportunity here. The stock's got some fun, kind of momentum behind it. I brought into stocks when people said that this is the height of it. I brought into a company called APXT merging with some cloudflare company. I didn't even do much research on that company. That was a pure swing trade for me. I watched one 10-minute video about it. Not there, why not? This kind of thing, which is going to be an easy swing trade for me. Said it on Twitter, I'm buying this stock. You get people saying you brought at the top. Next, on Monday, it went up over something like 15, 16%. Then the next 2 days, it went up over 30% after that. The swing trade, I won't do much research. See what.
Let me ask you a question. This is kind of going back to my youth. Maybe I was a few years older than yourself. Do you ever find yourself depressed on Friday afternoon when you have to go through a whole weekend without the market? Has that happened to you?
Well, it depends. If it's been a horrible week, sometimes the market needs a bit of time to just cool off and compose themselves. But sometimes on the weekend, every time I wake up in the morning at the weekend, I just quickly tell them stop to see how they do, and then it's like, oh, it's the weekend, it's over. And I still look at it for 10 minutes. I looked at it 10 minutes previous to that, so.
What's a bad week for you, Zach? Tell us what your worst trade was. Have you had a bad trade?
What is your worst trade?
Worst trade, not a specific worst trade, but with so many SPACs, I was not really low on some SPACs. This was, I don't know, a few months ago, 3 months ago maybe. This is, this is the kind of thing where, it's kind of like, whoa, 3 months in, I'm up 75%. Cray. SPACs start to go out of fashion after Nicola happened. Everyone starts thinking SPACs are a fraud. You see the SPAC market going down, and you didn't sell out, and then you lost everything you had then, and turned it into an 8% loss. Now I'm up over 85% on my portfolio for a second time in 5 months. This time I'm selling out of the stocks. Don't mind taking my profits anymore. I learned that from the last time. It's the kind of thing where people ask the last time. It's the kind of thing where I don't mind taking profits. I don't mind buying new positions with those profits. But I don't know. I'm more diversified than I was back then. Worst traders, not a specific one. I remember the day when my portfolio was lost like £500 in UK pounds. I lost like £70, like £200 in the course of 2 days. That's the kind of thing where you're like, oh no, this is the worst thing ever. They just go down, down, and down. I mean, my dad, who I got into it, like 2 months prior to that, his portfolio turned from like a few £1 in profit. It turned into a £1 loss. I made it up. I made my portfolio all back now, up over 85%, which I actually surpassed previous highs. I did invest a bit more, but I surpassed that percentage profits. But now, if I'm up loads on the stock, I don't mind taking profits. I don't mind taking my money out of that stock. I'm more less greedy than I was, and I'm more happy with what I get from a stock's return.
What do your friends think about your trading and losing 200 pounds or making 200 pounds when that's to them, they're like, I would be out trying to buy a video game if I had an extra 200 pounds in my pocket.
What's funny? Hardly. It's like my friend Ollie. He's probably one of my two of my best friends. It's him and Aiden. I actually got Ollie into it one time. He only put in £40. He put into one of the higher risk stocks. Even though when I was like, oh Ollie, you're not down on anything from this stock. I mean, there's a stock called Workhorse which is relying solely on one contract. It's not that's going to make or break the stock. I was thinking 2 weeks ago, I'm at 85% on my portfolio, or 60, 70%. Is it worth betting it all on one stock, which, make it or break it? Chances are, either way, I just go, it wasn't worth the risk. Always I've only got 40 quid in it. I'm gonna make a boatload of money or lose a boatload of money. But it's kind of thing where I know I got my friend into it, Ollie, but he only puts a very small bit in. And my friends are like kind of thing where don't talk about it too long or they're gonna fall asleep. It's like if you're not in the stock market, you think the stock market's the most boring thing in the entire world. If you're in it, you think it's one of the funnest things. So the stock market isn't something I like to talk about all the time to my friends.
Hey, we're getting some questions for you. You have any lithium stocks or solid state battery stocks, like anything in that area that interests you?
Yeah, so I don't really have any like lithium or solid state batteries. I could have brought QuantumScape at like $12. I know you own it, Chris. It's kind of funny about a company like QuantumScape. If you're holding for the long term, I'd be selling out right now. This company's valued at $45 billion. The battery's going to have the same amount of miles as Tesla. It's going to be in Volkswagen cars in 2027 or 2026. It's going to actually start making proper money. That's way up, way out. They plan to start making money in 2024. Very few. They got so much hate from that investor presentation. Where people said the figures are absolutely ridiculous. They removed all their projections of 2024 because some people like QuantumScape because it's backed by a former Tesla director. The guy is in QuantumScape, because it's kind of a cool project. You get loads of investors in cool projects which never turned out well. Look at Theranos with Elizabeth Holmes. Got so many old famous people in that in the company privately invested and a boatload of their own money into it. Was basically pouring money into it. When one of the guys one of the old Secretary of State's son who worked at Theranos said this thing's a fraud, granddad. The guy didn't sell. The guy just brushed off his grandson. It's the kind of thing where this something like QuantumScape. I don't think they're lying about battery technology. I'm not really interested in lithium or that kind of stuff.
Okay, hold on. Time out, Zach. Time out. We just had a moment here. Dumb money trade, Dave. Dumb money trade. I just sold my QuantumScape, 2,000 shares, $250,000. Trade alert. I am out as of this. I literally just this second sold it for 120 and change. I am out of QuantumScape. Done. I heard all I need to hear.
Now, Chris, you realize that as he often says on his YouTube channel, he's not a financial advisor. He does not know your financial risks. So I hope you weren't taking just his word for it and you did your own diligence.
No, I'm taking his word for it. But don't worry, I won't sue you, Zach. I know Zach is not a financial advisor, and neither are we. Do not trade on this information. I will trade on this information, but do not do that. We don't know your financial risk.
I also want to point to another comment in the live chat. John Sweeney notes that today could be the first show ever that somebody talks more than Chris. So congratulations, Zachary. You win an award. That's the first time that the far right box on our show has had this much airtime. So congrats.
Yeah, you're gonna have to send me a trophy, and I'm gonna put it on the wall at the back of all my videos. Overtaking, having more talk time than Chris in the video.
Zach, I have an 11-year-old, about to be an 11-year-old daughter who's also really into investing. You guys should meet sometime. Just saying, I think you guys would get along really well.
Your kid's a little behind the curve now when it comes to investing. Do they even? I know that they have a brokerage account, but they're not doing research. They're
no. He'd one up her on the intensity level. He's going to one up her on the intensity level, but that'd be good for her. Also, I think one of our old Ticker Tags analysts, great social arb investor, Laura, spends quite a bit of time in the UK. So next time she's out there, she'll probably ping you. You guys should definitely meet and talk stocks and social arb out in the UK. By the way, what part of the UK are you from, Zach? Did we say that?
So in the southwest of England's like Devon, Cornwall area.
Okay.
And the question here, do you have a YouTube channel? Yes, he has a YouTube channel. He's on the road to 5,000 subscribers. He's probably going to beat that today if all of you guys go check out his channel. Just search for Young Investor, right? Do you have a youtube.com/?
So if you just type it on YouTube, Young Investor on top, or I actually, like the other day, I've got my URL link for it. So that's www.youtube.com/ I think it's like C/C Young Investor. And I kind of weird thing about YouTube. I think I gained too many subs too quickly. So I've been looking through my latest videos and my watch time. So I should be monetizing in 3 videos, but YouTube hasn't catched up to it yet. So YouTube can kind of still 3,000 watch time hours away, and I had like 1,700 hours of watch time on my last video. It's kind of thing where some people are like, oh, this kid must be making a boatload of money, and I do reply to those comments. Sometimes I said, I made $0 from YouTube so far. If the YouTube algorithm doesn't catch up, I don't think I'm ever going to make any money. But yeah,
Well,
it's a kind of,
that's kind of like our channel, Zach. We bleed massive amounts of losses from all of our social activities, including YouTube. But what people don't understand is, like, for us, it's all about the investing, the community, the intelligence sharing, the collaboration. And by the way, let's talk about goals. High school. When you graduate high school, what is your financial goal? What's your financial goal? Where do you want? How much money do you want to have accumulated through your investments by the time you graduate high school? And we'll see if you achieve it. We're going to mark it right now.
All right. So this is something I think about quite often. Where the portfolio is, it depends what kind of risks I'm willing to take. But I think when I leave, secondary school and then maybe go to university or something, or if I go to university or not, depending on how well I'm doing, I just live in my bedroom, my parents' house, and trying to make as much money as I can. In a kind of a short amount of time. I would say hopefully by the end of like secondary school, £6,000 to like £10,000. I maybe like 6,500. Maybe have that in something. There's like Rare Stefan did a video that at my age you would have, my age like 24, you have $0 net worth with all your debts and all that. So I'd be pretty happy with that amount of money.
I will take the bet that he achieves that goal and probably a multiple of that goal. What do you think, Dave? You're on mute.
I'm taking the over on that one. I'm pretty sure that he will beat his own expectations in this investment world. If he keeps doing the kind of research he's doing and keeps actively investing, yeah.
I have one last question. We talked a lot about EV. I do want to hear your thoughts real quick, Zach, on crypto and Bitcoin, because I know that's a sector that you are involved with. So just high level, what are your thoughts? Are you in it? Why are you in it? Where do you see it going in 2021?
I'm in Bitcoin, for some reason. It's the kind of thing Bitcoin, and I don't think people understand. I mean, not even those people my age have even heard of Bitcoin. But when the kind of thing with Bitcoin is, look at gold for example. Gold has got a fair bit of gold in existence. It's one of the worst assets to own if you want to even store it. It's going to cost you a bomb to store gold if you don't want to buy one of the ETFs and pay some fee, maybe not loads. And you've got Bitcoin fully online. It's not something where someone's going to run into your house and see all your crypto, see all your Bitcoin coins from your cupboard. This thing's online. It's really secure. For years, people are saying Bitcoin's going to be hacked. Bitcoin's going to be replicated. There's going to be fake Bitcoins put into existence. There's never been fake Bitcoins. Every 4 years, you've got the Bitcoin halving, which is like half, I think, the amount of coins it's allowed to be mined. The coins are allowed to be mined up to 21 million. We're at 18.6 million at the moment. We have Michael Saylor from MicroStrategy, just starting to, started putting all his money in Bitcoin. I think it's an interesting thing. I saw Elon Musk's tweets the other day. He's talking about, it went on his Bitcoin rampage, and then add some Dogecoin into the mix. It's kind of thing when he was actually inquiring about putting Tesla's balance sheet into Bitcoin. So kind of like there's a bit of truth in every joke or something, or there's whatever. I think it's quite interesting. Elon Musk, I think he's considering it. Give it 3 years, Tesla's going to have 10, maybe 5 or 6% in Bitcoin. It's kind of thing where I'm not the biggest guy. I'm not obsessed with Bitcoin. People say, "Oh, put all your money into Bitcoin." I say I wouldn't find it that interesting, to be honest. Looking at a Bitcoin chart, I'm much more into stocks. But Bitcoin's a kind of asset. It's where I think a lot of companies in the S&P 500, give it one company starts putting money into Bitcoin, they're all going to do it. Give it a few years, people are going to be pouring into Bitcoin. For every 1 millionaire on Earth, they can only ever own up to 0.5 Bitcoins if you split that all between them. Such limited supply, huge demand at the moment. I think there's going to be a wall. You'll have so much institutional money going into Bitcoin next year. You've already seen us starting to add this year. I think next year is going to be another great year for Bitcoin, maybe up another 100% if we carry on the 10-year trend, going up 100% year over year. We'll see how it goes.
So is that your price target for 2021? Is another doubling of Bitcoin's value?
I'm going to go for another doubling of Bitcoin's value. I'm thinking $40,000 end of 2021.
All right.
That's a hot topic on the Dumb Money Discord group. So if you guys want to follow that, dumbmoney.tv/Discord will get you there. you've really, I think, our audience loves you. They know that you're a genius, and it started out, the comments were like, who is this guy? Why are we watching this on Dumb Money? And now it's like, I love it, and you should start your own fund, people are saying.
No, don't start your own fund. You don't need to do that.
Too much
But hey, listen,
administrative headache.
Zach,
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you some advice, okay? And I want you to really listen to this advice because it might be the most important advice anybody gives you related to your investing, okay? I was as into investing as you are today at a slightly later age than you. The most important thing I ever did when it came to my investing career, and I think what has led to my success today, is I proactively made myself engage with life outside of investing, because the reason why you're so great right now is you have a fresh perspective. You're not a finance head, okay? You're not a Wall Street guy. You are connected to the world in a very real way. You're able to make decisions based on actual, real, meaningful things that you're seeing in life, not just what you're reading, right? But you're actually, a lot of what I've heard in this interview is you're able to kind of see what's real and see what's not real, okay? I want to make sure that over the next 10 to 15 years, you continue to explore interest outside of investing. Now, investing could always be your heart. It could always be your number one go-to thing that drives you in life, but you must make sure, especially when you get into high school and college and in your days after college, proactively chase relationships, people, hobbies, go out, do things. I know you have other interests. You already told us that. Continue to push those interests as well, okay? Do not box yourself into this kind of finance head world where you get too consumed and you lose touch with the real world, because that component is maybe the most important component for you to be able to differentiate yourself from the smart money institutional finance heads that we know do not know what they're doing and have never outperformed the market ever as a group, okay? So I want you to think about that, and you're gonna have pathways in your life when you could say, I'm just gonna stay here and just focus on nothing but investing, or I can go, instead of spending $1,000 on Tesla, I can actually go to spring break with my friends in high school or whatever it is. Consider the other road too, all right? Consider.
It sounds like future Chris talking to kid Chris, all the things you wish you had been told when you were younger.
Well, I was fortunate that I had friends.
You did go to spring break.
Yeah, I did. And here's the thing. Fortunately, I had friends that had no interest in investing. So I was pulled into those things, right? And I'm so happy for that. But I see a lot of other people in the investing community who go so deep into investing that they just completely lose touch with reality, which basically makes them into bad investors. And I would hate to see you turn from what is a great investor right here in the first 5 months of your career to just another one of these guys on Wall Street in 10 years. So I'm not saying not to run a hedge fund someday. I'm not saying not to go join ARK, right, someday when they try to recruit you at age 16. I'm just saying keep that connection to the rest of the world open and just as important as your investing career. Okay, Zach? Just promise me that and keep that in the back of your head at all times. All right?
I mean, I fully agree with you. I mean, you know, one of the investors, like Peter Sheep, whatever it's called, I don't know if I can pronounce his name right. He was on Twitter like a few months ago. He's like, and my son just brought more Bitcoin against my advice. And he wrote his whole little tweet like he was some leader of the whole world. And he said, who would you rather listen to, the kid or the experienced investment professional? Put down a poll. 83% said the kid. I said the kid. Everyone says the kid. It's the kind of thing where you can tell he's lost touch with the world. Because he's writing it like he's the supreme leader of everyone. Whereas that's like he's right on everything, you know. And maybe he uses his and son's Bitcoin as a hedge against his own goals. Who knows? It's the kind of thing where, you know, I think, you know, I mean, my friend Aiden, he has no interest in anything about you know, Bitcoin or, you know, anything. You know, he's like completely just like his gaming kind of stuff. So he always tells me about that, and I'm like, hey, yeah. I would say this for you about social, arbitrage especially. Look into it. I would say gaming is a new social. You can find something which is, really with that. Trust me. These days, everyone hops on an Xbox to talk. It's not on WhatsApp anymore. It's not on the phone. Roblox, something I'll be buying that when it IPOs eventually in 2021. It's the kind of thing I've said. I've been really hammering it through quite a lot. Look, I'm trying to look for the place at the moment, which is kind of the gaming place. Everyone's on gaming. Everyone's got an Xbox. People these days don't really hop on WhatsApp as much. When they do, they're playing games as well. There's talking. Communicating over Xbox. That's the kind of way the world's heading in my eyes. I'm trying to get a play like that, and I think you guys should maybe look into that as well.
Absolutely. And by the way, all of your friends, you're going to make them so rich over time. Look, there's not a single friend in my network that isn't having the best year of their life because they've had to listen to me for 10 years, do nothing but talk about this stuff. And they finally opened up a brokerage account, and now they're like all active investors and killing it, right? Every one of our friends, Dave, right? They're all killing it.
That's what I think we're doing our job at Dumb Money by going public with our trades and just giving people a way to think about how to invest and how to make the most of an extraordinary time in the market. And, I'm happy to see 12-year-olds opening brokerage accounts, 40-year-olds opening brokerage accounts, anyone who's doing it. This is why we do this. It's to help educate and get people inspired. And if we can do it, and if Zachary can do it, anyone can do it.
Yeah, and Zach, don't stop publicizing what you do, because you can literally save lives. You will make lives by getting people into the market, learning how to invest over time. You're an inspiration. You're an ambassador for this space. That is on your shoulders now. I hate to say it, at age 12, right? You'll learn as you get older. You have the power now to impact people in an incredibly positive way over your lifetime. And we're so proud of you. We are big believers in what you're doing. We are here to help in any way possible. Stay active in our Discord community. I want to see high conviction trade reports with your name on them in our Discord, Zach.
What is your name in our Discord, by the way?
It's like ZC like 80. I know one of I think it's like called Andrew or something. I know he has my Discord thing, and so if you want, I know he's like an admin or something. So I know he's got my Discord information.
We will make sure that one of our admins mentions you somewhere public. It's actually starting to rain here. That's amazing.
I think his last name is Tran or something like that. I think it's like.
I want to mention. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think his last name might be like Andrew Tran, something like that.
Oh yeah.
I can't
quite remember what his first name was, but I know its last was Tran.
I just saw a super chat come in for £5. We are going to send that to you somehow. Merry Christmas.
We're going to send it to you in merch. You're going to get so much merch, Dumb Money merch, Zach. You're not going to know what to... Jay, we need to do some smaller size shirts and stuff specifically for Zach. We got to do that, okay?
We will do it.
I want the shirt you've got on now, Chris. That's the kind
Isn't that great? I love this.
That's amazing. That looks absolutely amazing.
I love it. We're gonna get you a bunch of stuff. We just got to get some smaller sizes made for you. But listen, Zach, thank you for coming on. Don't stop. Stay observationally aware in your life. Observationally aware. Live life, man. Live every second of it. But stay what you're doing with investing. But also live life. We'll have you back on for sure, right? Dave, I think we lost Dave. Dave, you there? Yeah. You gone? I get the end of the show.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on, Chris.
You're very, very welcome. Have an awesome Christmas, an awesome holiday, and New Year, Zach, and we'll definitely have you back on again. I don't actually know how to end the show, so I don't know what to do other than just leave until it turns off. Zach, feel free to turn off your deal, and I'll turn off mine, and maybe people would still see Dave's face for the next hour until he turns his off. So thanks, Zach. Yeah. Have an awesome holiday. All right, buddy?
Yeah. Thanks for having me on, Chris. I appreciate it.
All right, later. And Dumb Money. I don't know how to do all the stuff that Dave does, but go to Spotify and I think iTunes and hit the thumbs up and like all the places where we are. I think we have another show, one last show before Christmas tomorrow, okay? I don't know. This is a lot of stress. Dave's never disappeared. You guys know I don't know what I'm doing. I don't even know how to turn this off I don't know what to do right now, guys. I don't know what to do. Yes, smash the like button. Please smash the like button. I think I'm just gonna go. And guys, I'll see you back tomorrow. Jordan will be back tomorrow. There's Dave. You're back. I was so nervous. I wouldn't know how to turn off
You would
the
not.
show.
Yeah, you wouldn't know how to end the show because you don't actually have the button. My computer got wet enough that it actually shut itself down. So I'm out in the rain, and that's how it goes sometimes. This show ended the way yesterday's show was the entire time. We're gonna figure out this on the road thing. Did you get to a wrap up point, Chris? Am I just supposed to?
Yeah, I think I wrapped it up. I told them all the things. I think that the Spotify and the iTunes and I mean,
Perfect.
The Discord, dumbmoney.com dumbmoney.tv/Discord.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for being with us, Zach. We can't wait to watch you become a billionaire. And that's it. Thanks everybody. We're Dumb Money. We will be back. Actually, we're taking time off. Tomorrow's Christmas Eve.
Oh wait, we're not on tomorrow? We're not doing anything
tomorrow.
Can we do one tomorrow? I feel like we should do one tomorrow. If that's not Christmas Eve, is it? Is tomorrow Christmas Eve?
I think tomorrow is Christmas Eve.
Ooh, maybe we should not do one tomorrow. That's kind of bad. Let's not do it tomorrow. Well, can we come back on Monday though, Dave? Monday we have a big show on Monday.
We have a big show because another YouTuber, almost as famous as Zachary, you may have heard of him. Meet Kevin, the guy who's I think has like $15 million in Tesla stock right now.
And the guy
who Meet Kevin live on our show right here on Monday. Everybody have a very Merry Christmas. We will see you on Monday.